Peace, family, friends, and loved ones out there. I hope everyone's doing great. It's another beautiful day in California, and I want to talk to you today about being grateful and just being in a state of gratitude, right? I say being in a state of gratitude is because knowing that we have everything in front of us and we have more than enough, we just really need to take time out and give thanks for everything that we have around us and the settings that's placed for us to have the opportunity to start out a new day and be renewed by the alignment of where we put our energy and our focus at, right? So today's topic is called Bathed in Gratitude. Your good has already existed, meaning the good in your life is already existed. It's because it's something that can never be taken away from you, right? The good side of life, or the things that you know to be good, has always been in your possessions. It's just how aware are you that things could only get better, right? Sometimes we're in situations and put in a position where we're like, man, I wish this, I wish that. And we're always wanting more or a different situation and not realizing how good we have it at the present moment, right? So, with saying that, knowing that you have it good no matter your situation that you're in, because some of the situations might not look as vibrant as a happy situation, because compared to a frustrating situation that's causing tension and causing emotions to flare, right? Um, in these times that we have these emotions and these situations happening, we still have to be grateful that we have the time to be patient enough with ourselves to work through it, right? Because sometimes when we go through certain periods in life and we're not grateful and thankful for the situation that we're going through, then something else lands on top of us, which really crushes the spirit or really crushes our confidence in dealing with it in the appropriate way, right? A lot of times life hit us over the head, and we remain down, we remain in the corner, and we stay in the position of being in I say a weaker version of ourselves, right? I say a weaker version because when we go through things in life, we choose how we want to go through them, right? Sometimes we give up and sometimes we fight, right? And the times that we fight is the times that we're saying, hey, I'm grateful another day to take another try at it, right? But the days that you're not fighting is because you're not being in gratitude. You need to become in gratitude when you start your day so that you don't feel like you're missing out or you don't have enough, right? And so the first thing I would like to talk about with gratitude is choosing yourself first, right? Choosing yourself first doesn't mean to be selfish. And I'm going to break that down a little bit. Um, when you choose yourself first, it's saying that you know what it requires, right? You know what it requires for you to get through your day and to be a responsible, mature individual, right? That's choosing yourself first. You have to take care of yourself first before you can give out anything to others, right? And that goes from your children, your partners, your coworkers, your friends. You have to choose yourself first, and then you'll be able to share, right? You'll be able to share what you have for others, okay? I say we always, not say always, we usually have enough to share, right? So as long as we take care of home base and ourselves first, then what we have left or what we have to share, we can give, right? And that's a way of finding gratitude, right? Finding a way to share with people, finding a way to be grateful enough to say, hey, here, have this, because you know that you're going to receive more, not from giving, but just from receiving. We're going to keep receiving things in life, but we also need to be grateful enough to give, right? A lot of us, that's where becoming selfish, right, is when you have so much and you have enough, but you don't give. That becomes a selfish act, right? That's not putting or choosing yourself first. That is just thinking only of yourself, right? And we don't want to just only think of ourselves. We want to make sure that we're giving forth what we have to give in the present moment. We don't want to say, oh, wait, I'll wait till I get enough, or I'll wait till I get this amount before I start giving. No, go ahead and give what you can now and allow more to come that you can continue to give, right? So, yes, like when you find a way to show gratitude during your day, then you'll find that things go your way much faster, right? The right actions make your vibration pick up speed, right? That's why we want to make the right decisions in the present moment, because we want to stay on the momentum of growing more to have in the present moment, more to use with the creation that we're trying to bring in our reality, right? We have to know that by making the right decisions, it leads down the path of a brighter light, a brighter day, a better decision to come forth for you to make next time, right? Because if you continue to make the wrong decision, then it's going to be much harder to make the right decision when it's needed, if that makes any sense. So it's always good to try to stay in a state of mind of giving back, right? Because the more you can give back, the more that you can be thankful for what you had to give. And that's just being in a state of gratitude, right? And that's where we're trying to start our day out and trying to go throughout the day and revisit that, right? And revisit the state of being thankful and grateful, right? So don't be selfish. Be aware. Be aware, meaning that look really for good times that you can help others, right? You can't help everyone when they need the help, right? And that sometimes is disturbing to others when you can't help them when you need to. But when you can help when you can, then that's still a good act in doing for others, right? You still have to feel confident when you give. You don't want to just give and then feel a certain way about it and feel like you don't have enough, or feel that you want something back in return. When you give, you want to be thankful enough that you have it to give, right? Because that state of being is going to bring more forth to you, right? Because it's the feeling that you're giving, and things are being accepted with appreciation, and people appreciate when you give and not be like, oh man, he gave me this and I know I'm going to have to give it back to him and this and that. You don't want that energy from others lingering back to you, right? So like by giving, it allows you to establish a new form, right? And I say a new form because in the present moment, things could be happening and you might need to start something fresh, or you might need the day to be restarted because it didn't start out the way you wanted. That's where you look for an opportunity to be grateful for a restart, meaning look for someone that you can give someone something, or to help someone with something, so that act in the present moment can realign you with the things that you might needed to change for your day, right? To get your day into the flow of the current energy, and not just the energy that you were trying to project, but really into the flow of God's energy in the present moment, so you become in the divine timing of what you're trying to receive and give, right? So, yes, when there's a time to be grateful, and when you are being in this state of being, start to see through the eyes of being grateful, right? When you see that the opportunities that you have to share in life and with people that you love, do it, right? Do it because you're setting forth the energy that will bring you underneath your light, right? And I say underneath your light because we're going to talk about the inner sun and your light, and that is the part about the part about life of being grateful for, that you're underneath the light of God, right? And you're not stuck in the dark, and you're not dealing with your shadow past, and 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 this is where I like to say that it's all about your light, right? It's all about being underneath the light. And when you turn fully into the light, it's gonna give you a feel of a very vibrant state, right? A very high, vibrant state. And so that's when you know you're in the light. And you get to the light by using your thoughts, right? You use your thoughts to create a space that allows the light to not only shine down on you, but to shine from within you, right? That's why we use our thoughts to build up our inner sun, right? If you're thinking about fear, then you're not in the light of God, right? So when you have those thoughts of fear, you have to remind yourself, hey, I'm dealing with the shadow of my past, or the shadow from within, and I need to get back underneath the light of God, underneath my light. And so when you realize that you're not underneath your light, then you can take time out to use your thoughts to remind you that it's time to get back into your light and out of the illusions of the world, or the illusions that you have in your mind, right? You got to understand your shadow depends on your attention. So the more you focus on the past, the more you give attention to your shadow, then you're going to stay out of the light. You're going to stay out of the current present moment, right? And that's not going to allow you to feed yourself, right, with the passion and the love that you have for yourself. Because if in the current moment, if you're feeding yourself the love and passion for doing what you like and what you want to do, then your light can continue to shine and continue to show you ways on how doing so. But when you start to feed your shadow the attention, then you become farther and farther away from the light, right? So when you wake up and you start your day, you must understand that you have to activate your inner light to become a living being. And I say your inner light or your inner sun, it starts from as soon as you open up your eyes, you realize that you have another day that's upon you. And so then you can start with, well, I'm grateful that I have today to start fresh, to renew my commitment to my higher self, to my family, to my community. All these things you're given a chance to in the beginning of the day. You want to activate your inner light to be a living being, so when you go into the world or into the reality of things, you are able to stand out as a living being and not just someone having a human experience. The difference between a living being and having a human experience in the current moment is very, very different. Like, a living being in the current moment can change the situation to their likings, right? They can see how to adapt and to alter the reality underneath their light, as long as it's not harming anyone. It can be done instantly. But if you're not in the light, if you're not underneath the light of God, then when you start your day, then you will find yourselves in your emotions more, and in yesterday's feelings. And when you're dealing with the past and the emotions of yesterday, it's hard to see the current vibration that you would like to be on, right? And that's where the tension starts, and that's where the day becomes much heavier and much more denser for you to actually create the reality that you want, right? So you have to take time to move forward with the light and to stay on the path. And by doing so, you should give back while you're on that path to show that not only that you're grateful, but you're in the state of gratitude, right? And as you go down this path of gratitude, you will feel that you're underneath the light and you're finding a way to stay vibrant. And that's the key in life, is to stay with a high vibration so others can not only feel your energy, they can begin to see the energy because the light is so strong. They see that you're a positive, happy individual that's trying to share with the world instead of take from the world, right? Or instead of put people down that's in a position where they're having a hard time with the current reality, right? So, after you rise, you need to take time to activate the inner sun from within, right? Because it's going to lead you to stay underneath the light of God. And once you're underneath that, you're in the light of God, that's when you can start using your prayers to align yourself with the current present moment. And by doing so, now you can become in the flow of God, right? And then now you're knowing that you're in unity with the one God, right? Now it will bring forth more powers for you to have underneath your light. And the more power that you have with you as you walk the path of life, the more you'll be able to help and use that power to create the situations and the environment that you want to have. And it's very important because when we have these human experiences, they're all set up into, did you like the situation, or how could you make it better, or you begin to give out excuses on why your life isn't the way you want it to be, or isn't the way that you wanted it to flow. And by doing so, that is not being accountable for being underneath the light of God, right? So remember, when you're wakening up, you want to align with the spirit upon awakening. And when you do that, then you'll see the peace within your soul, right? And the more that you are relying on the light of God, then you'll have faith to take a rest, knowing that God will not only take care of you, but will restart you right where you need to be. And then you have the joy being one with God. And once you have peace, faith, and joy in your life, then you know that you're underneath the light of God, and you should be grateful and thankful that you have the light of God with you in these times, because a lot of us don't know how to stay underneath our light when situations get a little tight or become difficult or challenging, right? But you got to understand, the fruit of life is dealing with your mental images, right? So long as that you can see yourself underneath the light and see positive things around you and within you, then you can see, or that's where you're beginning to plant the seeds, right, in your mind, in your mental field. And now as you're creating not only a higher version of yourself, now in the way you feel about how you see yourself, your emotions begin to water those images of the seeds that you planted from within. So now, not only are you planting the seeds from within, you're using the light to grow those seeds from within. And this is all about developing your garden from within. And with that said, I want everyone to stay in a state of gratitude as long as possible today, right? Be grateful for being able to give back what you have, right? Because you have more than enough, and what you don't use today, you should be giving to others so that they can get through the day with as much as they possibly need, right? Because we're in a times where people are in need, and we all might be in need, but we have more than enough in the present moment. So we have to see how to use what we have, and then how to release and let go of what we don't need to have in that present moment. And with that said, I want to say Rafiki Angu to all my family, friends, and loved ones out there. Continue to pray for others, because we're in a time where others need protection, and they need prayers from strangers or even loved ones to help them see their light and to reach the light. And so as long as we keep praying for others and allowing ourselves to be in the light of God, then God will allow us to share what we have to bring forth a better experience, not only for ourselves, but bring a better experience for those that would like to be underneath their own light and be in a collective light, which that is another feeling of unity and being one with God, since we all are underneath the same God. With that, Ashe.